Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of our Revell 125th C8 Corvette video build. Picking up where we left off last time, we're going to start some final assembly of the components of the kit that we have primed, painted, and now detail painted as well. So we use mostly Bob Smith Super Gold for assembly of this because it's non-fogging, gives you time to move the part around as well. And we just follow the instructions and building everything up as we go. We've got our precision tips on the end of the Bob Smiths, which you can get on our website, proscalepaints.uk. And these make a very neat job of applying the super glue exactly where you want it. So building the engine up, referring to the instructions. We can start to bring this thing to life, and beautiful contrasting colours of the superfine silver and the GX red from Mr. Hobby. Really starting to bring this thing alive. You can see I've got my optivisor on from Tamiya, my magnifier glasses on. So just refer to instructions, make sure you get everything the right way around. And the great thing with Bob Smiths, because it gives you a bit of working time, if you do glue something on wrong, you can get it back off or cause any damage if you're quick. Drive shafts in place, and these are handed, so make sure you get the right side. And they have a half moon spigot on as well, so they'll only go in one way. So once we get those in place, once we've got the engine mostly assembled, we can apply some CA glue to the chassis. Now I haven't painted inside because you're not going to see inside here, but if you want to, feel free. And then with some super glue, and it does take a fair bit of persuasion to get this in place, to be honest. We can push it home. Like so. There we go. And then we can get all our wheel arches on and our wheel hubs as well. So again, just referring to instructions and just following our way through them. Now we have got some aftermarket wheels that aren't going to fit perfectly. So we are going to have to try and figure out a way of mounting them. So I'm leaving the wheels off for now. And I want to get all the bodywork done and sorted before and mounted before we approach the wheels. So we can see how they're going to sit, how they're going to go, and whether we're going to get away with using them, because we're going to use larger 124 wheels on this 125th kit. Got the radiators at the front in place, again CA glued and a bit of Bob Smith's activator as well, and these exhausts. Now the kit calls for you to put the manifolds on the engine before you put the engine in. I wouldn't, because I found they didn't quite fit these rear exhaust sections. I'm also pretty convinced I painted that rear piece at the back wrong. I don't think it should be black. I think it should be exhaust colour, but it's glued in place now, and I'll be honest, you cannot see it at all once it's in. So I wasn't all that bothered. But yeah, if you're going to check that, check its reference colour and paint the appropriate colour. But yeah, I'd assemble the exhaust separately and glue it in place afterwards. You'll probably find your manifold doesn't quite line up, because mine didn't. Got the heat shields in place as well. And then we can go back to the interior. So we've got our carbon flash seat backs here as well. They've been matte coated along with the rest of the seat as well. And again, just popping this in, getting the excess glue off of it quick, gives a nice contrast. Now one thing I did forget to do was show the carpet being flocked, which I did actually mean to do on this build. A lot of people have been asking me for those videos, and I did mean to put seat belts in here as well. I actually drilled out the holes on the seats to put seat belts in, and totally forgot. So yes, my wonderful assistant Hannah has flocked the interior in ProScale anthracite grey flocking. Looks fabulous, and we can start now assembling the interior in place. So the seats are in, well, the seats are assembled together. Dashboard assembly's on. We've got the instrument cluster cover on, the steering wheel's in place with the shifter. The cover just fell off, so it needs a bit more glue. I don't know what it was about this. There was a nice generous amount of glue underneath there, and it just wouldn't grab it at all. So a couple of dabs underneath and a quick hit with some activator. Soon sorted that. So we'll pop those in there like so. And then the door cards in place. Like I said, quite a nice interior on this, to be fair. Get your door cards in place first. They do fit in there very positively. And then a little bit of glue on the exterior. And then the dashboard will slot in there. Look at that. Really nice interior, to be fair. Looks really good. Just wish I'd added those seat belts. I kicked myself for not doing it, but anyway. Right, we've got some Geronimo Works wheels here. We've got some of our super applicators we sell over on ProScale. These are a new product to us. These are absolutely brilliant. They are metal tipped, 4 different sizes, and they are perfect for perfectly applying small amounts of CA glue. So this is the largest one we do. They go right down to a minuscule size, and they're absolutely perfect for applying the smallest amount of CA glue just where you want it. So these Geronimo Works wheels I originally bought for my Tamiya LFA. I started for ages ago, but this car was screaming for nicer wheels, so I went root through my box, and found these. A very quick test fit and a confirmation from my buddy Andrew, who's building the same kit with me with a similar type of wheels, confirmed that they should fit with some jiggery pokery with the hubs. So that's what we're going to do. We also drilled out the air valves as well, and we primed the wheels in Mr. Hobby GX2 gloss black. Yeah, we've got the air stand valves in there too. We drilled those out and popped them in. And the GX2 gloss black, perfect base for putting in our metalwork, which we're on this one. We're going for ProScale titanium silver. That was an idea from my buddy Rich in the Hangouts. And again, lovely colour, like a silvery gold colour. My airbrush is off camera there. I am spraying, you just can't see it. I think I am. I might be gabbing. Could be. I might be having a look, having a think. There we go. Now I'm spraying. Beautiful colour. Really suits these rims. And the wheels, as somebody said, they're like a work of art themselves. Really high quality. Not cheap though. These wheels cost me quite a bit of money. They come with the tyres as well, which we've got on the little tongue depressors there too. But the ProScale metallics, super finely pigmented, beautiful metallic colours. I am adding more and more of these to the range as I go through. We've already got a good selection of colours already. And if you've not tried them, give them a whirl. I'll bet you'll love them. Right then, body sanding. So we've got our 68000 Trizic 3M pads. We've got some water for a little dish soap in, some Fairy Liquid, Dawn, wherever you guys call it, wherever you're from. And we're going to go around, just take back the clear coat a little bit. That way it'll help remove any dust spots or anything that's landed in the surface itself. It'll thin out the 2K a little bit more, and it'll just overall give us a better finish. And again, see a lot of people 2K and say, oh, well, that's it. It will always look better after a polish if you do it properly. The 3M Trizic pads, a little bit difficult to get, and a little bit pricey as well. But well worth searching out the 6 and 8000 grits if you can get them. They do save a lot of time, very efficient sanding, and they do an absolutely superb job on 2K. So we're going to go all around with the 6000, all the parts you can see on the bench, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the 8000. We're then going to come in with our polisher. Now I've already gone over with the green and blue sponge with the Menzana 2500 and 3500 compounds, and this is the very last stage. I'm just showing now quickly with the Superlim Auto Resin Polish. It's the same process for each compound. It's just going around gently over the entire model. I've got my Proxon multi-tool, rotary tool, sorry. It's at about 5000 RPM. And we're just going around and very gently polishing up all the surface. And this is all the hard work done by this machine on the polishing pads that I used to do by hand. That would take me hours. Now it takes me like 35 to 40 minutes to do the whole thing, and gives a much better shine. So yes, so we've done this with all 3 compounds, using all 3 compound sponges from Zoom. We sell those on ProScale as well. And with a quick go over a very fine microfiber cloth, we can see the shine we've got is looking absolutely fantastic. Really pretty painted job this. Really happy how this has turned out. So yeah, we go around. Now as you can see, we are collecting some polished dust in the panel lines, which shows you just how nice and thin our 2K goes down. So to get rid of those, we'll use our toothbrush, and then when we're done, we'll go to the spray booth and use an old a cheap airbrush to spray water out of, and we'll jet wash all the horrible polished gunk out the panel lines. But really happy how this one's turned out. It's a tricky one to polish. There's lots of little nooks and crannies. But with the rear bumper being separate and the engine cover, that makes life a little bit more easy as well. As you can see, we've given a thorough polish all over, and then going over it with the toothbrush, just get any excess polish out. There you go, loads in that door there. Then once that's out, we give it a final polish up. job done. Now, we're not forgetting all the other parts as well. All the other parts are done that are colour coded. Well, the same colour as the body, so the engine cover, the rear bumper, the wing mirrors, the spoiler, and the front splitter are all done as well. Just nice and gently. Be careful of any raised areas. You don't want to sand through or burn through the polishing compound. It's easily done. But what a difference it makes polishing it. It really does bring it alive. Same on the rear bumper as well. This carbon flash colour is immense. It is a beautiful, beautiful colour. Hope you've got a nice close-up shot on this video somewhere of it, because it looks absolutely phenomenal. It really does replicate carbon quite well from a distance. I think you could definitely fool people you've carbon some when you maybe haven't. And then masking. So we've got several awkward areas to mask. We've got the engine bay to mask there. You can see on the right hand side I've already started, but we want to leave the inner rim of the engine bay orange so it doesn't show through the engine cover, and that's what's like on the real car. We've got the A-frame, well, the window screen frame to do as well. So we've got to get that bit of black trim at the top. So yeah, a little bit tricky to do. I also sprayed under the engine cover while I was at it. But with all those sprayed, Mr. Servicer 1500 black, it's looking good. And there we go. Step back in time. There it is going down. So several light coats of this. Just build nice and slow, getting all those angles. Very carefully masked off, as you can see. So we got the overspray. And yeah, looking good. It definitely adds a bit of depth to the model. Makes it look a little bit less boring. Like I say, it seems to be an option. You can have colour-coded engine bay on the real car, but I didn't like the look of it myself. Now, the rear lights on these are really tricky out of the box. They're a mixture of clear, red, and completely blacked out. And it is doable, and I started masking them, and I thought, I wonder if there's any aftermarket lights out there for this. And there is. There's some tinted units out there. So the only thing that isn't tinted must be the reverse lights. So I found those on the kit lights, masked them off, and used some Tamiya smoke to tint them. And I'm glad I did. I think it looks good. It was certainly easier to do than trying to mask off all the individual colours on the light itself. And yeah, it makes my car a little bit more unique. And saved me a lot of time as well. Now we've got quite a few clear parts here as well. We've got the windscreen, we've got the rear window, we've got the side windows, which there are door side windows as well, which we're not going to put in our kit this time. There's also side window pieces, like I say, at the back, little quarter windows. So careful masking is required. And my one real criticism as a kit is that I would like to see either pre-painted windows, which I've seen in other kits before from Revell, or masks. Paint masks are such a good thing to get nowadays because it saves this. This was a good hour or so's work masking all these up with thin tapes. It took forever to do. So yeah, please Revell, start giving mask kits in your kits. We will get aftermarket ones from the likes of Zoom on eventually. So they are a welcome addition to any builder. But with this one, it's a case of sitting there, very boring, laboriously, out of focus, or back in focus, masking up these windows. So there we go, there's the back one done. So we'll literally do the outer edge with the thin tape, and then infill the centre with the thicker Tamiya tapes. And then make sure it's all fully burnished down and ready for painting. And then over in the booth, again, Mr. Servicer 1500 black, several light coats building it up. So we've got the rear window, the front windscreen, two side windows, and the engine bay interior rear window as well, which sits inside the car to do. So they've all been carefully masked off. Like I say, a couple of coats of the Mr. Servicer 1500 does the job perfectly. And obviously, because we're doing this underneath, when you turn it round for the other side of the glass, it's nice and glossy as it is on the real car. Now, exhausts we've got, and lights, we've got our precision super applicator again. We're just putting a small amount of Bob Smiths in the mounting holes. Then put our pre-painted light units in. Again, a couple of things people criticise this kit for. Number one, the scale's wrong. They don't build 1/25th. I don't get that one. There's not much of a difference really in 1/25th and 1/24th. It's sometimes not even noticeable. So it certainly put me off buying a new kit. And somebody else also commented they'd like to see chrome parts in the kit. But it's a modern day car. There's no real chrome parts on the kit. So Revell's not going to just chrome these rear lights because it's literally the only silverish part on the kit. And I think the same person said they'd like to see chrome rims, which would look horrific on this thing. I'm sorry. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, just to quickly paint those rear light lenses silver, it's not much of a hardship really. The exhaust fit in, they are handed as well. They are shaped for each side. So one has a specific slot for it to go in as well. So take your time there. And then with our lights we masked up earlier, we've got some Tamiya LP67 smoke. And we're spraying this neat. It's just completely neat on the inside. Building it up slowly. It's a slow build, this one. Then all of a sudden it'll cover. So make sure you keep checking the level of tint you've got because it's very easy to get carried away. And before you know it, you put too much paint down. You're like, ah, damn, it's too dark. And with those in place, these kind of literally just fit in place by friction. But I did add a little bit of Say-Glue in there to hold them. The rear glass literally will hold itself in there with friction. Doesn't need any glue whatsoever in there. So with that in, we've got the rear engine cover in as well. We also painted the interior black with their model colour after we sanded it all back and polished it. And then we've got our interior engine bay cover window here as well. So a quick test fit there as well. Test fit everything before you fit it. It's one of the biggest tips I can give any modeler. Test fit everything because especially if you're not using things like Bob Smith, using an instant grab glue, you can make a mess of your model so quick gluing things in the wrong place. My biggest advice would be test fit everything. So that fits in there really well too. Hold it for a couple of seconds and then the light units, again, these fit in there perfect. Again, making life easier, pop them in place, glue them in from behind. It's just so much neater than trying to glue from the front. So a little bit of Bob Smith Super Gold, one of our precision applicators again. We're just going to apply a strategic spot in a few corners. Like so. Then with some kicker, and get these held in place. And there we go. And then the light lenses themselves, we cut them out and clean them up. And then we're going to go around the outer edge with the Sharpie, which will it'll replicate the rubber seal on the actual light unit itself. It's a nice little trick, adds a little bit of depth. And a little bit of Bob Smith's just in a corner at the top and bottom. Doesn't need a lot at all, and this is where these precision tips are absolutely perfect because you're using barely any glue and you get exactly where you want it. So I get one corner in first, hold that and then push the other one in. It should go in perfectly. I'm just double checking. Oh, that stuck to my finger. Don't. There we go. Just wiping off any excess glue there. If you're quick with the Bob Smiths, you can get it off. Like I say, get a cotton bud, and it will wipe off. You'll be quite surprised just how much you can get off before it dries. Now, this little scuttle panel for the windscreen wipers, the instructions look like they tell you to glue it to the dashboard. It doesn't work like that. It sits very specifically on the inside of the car. So I put the windscreen in, and then offered it up to its mounting point on the body, and it lined up absolutely perfect. So I'm pretty sure the instructions refer to you gluing it to the dashboard. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get your windscreen all sorted. There's literally lines recessed there for that part. So generous amount of Say-Glue without being crazy. I tend to do 3 or 4 most of the time on parts like this. We can get it there. We can get this glued in place. Like so. Then we hit it with some kicker and get it secured in place for good. And then our windscreen, again, Bob Smith's, just a few very light dabs in the corners. There we go. And then the screen, trying to handle it as little as possible. We can slot it in. Now, you've got window wipers to slot it through first. To get them past that. Get the bottom in, drop the top in. Be careful of fingerprints. We do not want to get fingerprints on that glass. There we go. Hold it for a few seconds. Let the super glue grab it. And there we go. It's starting to come alive now. Really is with the glass in. It's starting to give it that real nice look. Then we've got these side pieces. Now, I did have a few glue marks show on this. Thankfully, they disappeared when it was dry. So be very sparing with the glue. Just use it at the top of the bottom. Don't put it in the middle. I made a mistake. I put it in the middle and you can see exactly where it's going. And what I'm using here is called Rodico. It's a watchmaker's tool for cleaning watches and holding small parts. It's like a weird putty. I've got it on a cocktail stick. You can get it on Amazon. I'll go over this in another video at some point. But very handy tool for getting stuff in place. And we've got our engine cover in place as well. They've all been decaled now too. There we go. And then the brake discs and wheels. Now, I've test fitted the wheels. They fit in there, but there's a little bit of slackness around the edge. So what I've done is I've test fitted some small strips of plastic styrene. You can use evergreen and the like as well. A little bit of CA glue. Now what we're going to do, bring the outer edge down. We're just going to lift the wheel up a touch at the bottom to try and lower the car a little bit, which did work a little bit. So I'm using these pre-cut, well, I've cut them off, strips of evergreen or plastic styrene strip to glue them in place. So I'm going to put 3 of these in there as total. That is just enough to hold it. And then we can glue the disc and caliper on, making sure we get everything orientated the right way. Refer to instructions here. And then we're going to get our body in. So a couple of glues on the mounting points for the interior. We've got our sun visor trim glued in place as well. Again, a little bit out of shot just while I'm working on important parts like this. There we go. So with that glued in at the front, we can apply some kicker to get the glue to instantly grab. Now be careful here, we've got clear parts in the car. We don't want to drop any of this on them because it will ruin them. So just take your time. Once you've got the front in, flip it round and we'll deal with the back. It is a little bit of spring on this, but it glues together okay. Yeah, need the super glue first, so we'll have a little bit on this. Not using the Bob Smith's gold now, you can see we're using the purple. Just that little bit of extra instant grab. Again, same kicker. There we go. Glued in place, absolutely perfect. Interior is looking good. Then we can make the chassis to the body. Now, a little bit tricky to do. I would slot the front in first. Then you have to prise apart the sides just to get the rest of it in. It's a little bit nerve-wracking this. But with a little bit of perseverance, it will go in just fine. Make sure everything lines up. Looks good to me. There we go. Quick test fit of the bumper, which still fits absolutely perfect as well. Always a relief when you get to these parts and they still fit. We're going to get our rear roof panel on. Wheels are on and in place, so we've slotted the tyres over. They literally push fitted into place perfectly where we've made our little adapters. Literally as if they were a factory installed part from Revell. They fit in absolutely perfect. So with that in, we can test fit the roof panel as well, which fits in there like a glove. And then the final touch is some zoom on license plates. So again, we sell these over a pro scale. We've got some American, Canadian, Japanese over there. They are a 3D embossed photo etched number plate or license plate with the applicable decal, and it gives it that stamped look. These are brilliant. These are one of my favourite things we sell. So cutting it off the fret with the 0-1 PE shears, like so. There we go. And then we can glue this in place on the car, and then standard decal procedure. Get the decal off, pop it on, and because it's raised lettering on the PE, when you set the decal in place, it literally looks like a stamped decal. I do love these things. They're a beautiful finishing touch from the for the car. And this number plate is a Pennsylvania one in honor of my buddy Brandon, who's been waiting for this kit to be released forever. So this one's for you, buddy. Like I said in the hangout the other day, a Pennsylvania plate for you. So a little bit of Bob Smith's on there to hold it. That's got that perfectly. And then the decal over the top, which we'll add a bit of heat to, some UMP decal solutions like usual, remove all the moisture, yada yada yada, standard procedure. And we're left with a beautiful looking rear number plate. So these are superb. They really are a real nice finishing touch. Loads of different states on there. I don't know how many you get in total, but there's a lot on there. I don't know, is it all the states? I don't know. What have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, yeah. There you go. Must be all of them. And there we go. There's our number plate in place. Looking good. A little bit of heat, a bit of a UMP decal solutions. Like so. There we go. Just getting the edges down of the decal as well. A little tiny bit of carrier film at the top. Beautiful. And then one thing I did forget and had to come back to after taking 2 lots of pictures was I haven't put the wheel decals on, the centre hubs, and I hadn't painted the tyre valve stems black. So I took 2 loads of pictures, uploaded them, and realised each time there was something wrong, and the second time I realised I hadn't done this, so redid it again. And with those done, we are finally done. Now we can use the UMP Shine Spray, which is basically a spray wax finishing additive for our 2K. So we'll spray that into a nice microfiber glasses cleaning cloth. And then I'm just going to wipe this all over. Now this isn't abrasive, it just needs to haze up and you buff it off. It leaves a nice high shine finish behind. Nice and easy to use. Gives a really good result. Using all your glass parts as well. And this will take fingerprints off and just make it all nice and shiny. So that you get it all over the car. Watch your wing mirrors on your attached parts because it's very easy to knock them off. Let it haze up and then come back with a dry portion of the cloth and just buff it up to a beautiful, nice high shine. And boy, has this car come out well. This thing looks absolutely phenomenal. Really has turned out really well. Very, very happy with this. It's a nice looking car, great kit from Revell as well. And just a great paint colour too. I think it looks absolutely spectacular. Now, sadly, of all the days, there was no sun outside, so I couldn't take it outside and show you. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful pearlescent yellow, orange. I think it's a purple then. That carbon flash on the roof looks amazing as well. The extra Geronimo Works wheels look fantastic. Our number plate looks great on the back. Yeah, really happy this turned out. I highly recommend this kit. I think the only thing that really lets it down is a lack of window masks, which would be nice to see, but I doubt we'll ever get from Revell. And the wheels on this kit are terrible. They're a horrible wheel option. They're a little bit too small as well, whereas these Geronimo Works look phenomenal. And I'm glad of my interior choice as well. I didn't think this was going to go, but looking at it now, I think it's perfect for a nice combination of black and body colour. Some nice decals in there as well to add to the detail. Now, this is the only thing I'm not happy with. That little luggage compartment in the back, I was going to flock, but I just knew that flock would end up static everywhere, so I opted not to do it. And I'll be honest, the only people I'm going to see in there is you guys. Nobody else is ever going to see it. And some final reveal pictures. So, this is Revell's 25th scale Corvette C8. This was primed in Pro Scale White Primer, painted in Pro Scale C8 Corvette Sebring Orange. 2-stage paint. First colour first and the tin colour last. Absolutely beautiful. All the black on the exterior is Corvette Carbon Flash Metallic, which is a beautiful colour. It was then given a Tamiya panel line wash after the kit decals went down, and then given a Pro Scale Paint 2K Clear, which turned out absolutely beautiful. The wheels are Geronimo Works wheels, painted in Pro Scale Paints silver, titanium silver. Rubber black from Pro Scale on the tyres as well. The interior is painted in the exterior base colour and Napa black leather from Pro Scale. Some anthracite leather flocking. And all the kit decals really brought that alive. They were all matte coated. I carbon flash metallic at the back of the seat as well as a little bit of a tie-in. Engine is a mixture of Pro Scale Paints metallics and some GX red from Mr. Hobby. That's about it. We flatted it all back with the 3M Trizic pads, polished up with the Zoom on polish pads and Manzana compounds and Autogilm super resin polish, and gave it a final go over with the UMP shine spray. Yeah, I'm really happy how this one turned out. Built it in just over a week. Really nice kit. Like I say, the only things I like to see are a mass set and some nicer wheels. But really happy with the interior, how that's turned out. And overall, yeah, really nice, enjoyable build. And we will revisit this one at a later date when somebody brings out a nice detail upset for it, which I'm sure they will. And hopefully a mass set for those windows as well. So there we go. There's another build off the bench. Like I said, the only thing I wish I had done is flock that luggage compartment there, but I know the flock would have got everywhere because it doesn't like static and it sticks like poo to a blanket. But there we go. Revell's brand new 125th C8 Corvette. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. Not necessarily myself. It's not my normal cup of tea, but having built it, it's a beautiful kit to build of a great looking car as well. And I'm glad I added these wheels because I think they definitely change the overall look of the car itself. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Let's go back to me for some final thoughts. And there we go. All done and dusted. Just over a week. I think it worked out to be about 8 days from start to finish. I think I started on the Sunday and finished it on the Monday. And what a great kit. What can I say about it? As I said repeatedly throughout the build, I like to see window masks. All the pre-black trimmed windows would be good too. And I'd like to see the wheels. There's another set of wheels that come with this car. And as my buddy Brandon pointed out, they are actually depicted on this box as well. I know the wheel's spinning, but if you look, that is a different set of wheels with the forked ends. Can you see them? Not these bloody horrible things that are shown there, because they're horrible. Horrible, horrible wheels. So I am glad I changed them out for the Geronimo wheels. Yeah, so probably going to see a lot of them built with the kit wheel, so I'll be interested to see how it sits, because they do look a little bit small for the car, but it is what it is. But yeah, overall, happy how the build went. It goes together really well. No fit issues on the kit that I can think of. Like I said through the beginning of the build, the engine cover is a bit tight on the bumper at the back, so I would sand that back a little bit to make it a bit of a looser fit, because once you get your tolerances of paint on, it's going to be a bit tighter. And leave that rear bumper off as well. It makes I don't know if it'll fit in the body shell with that rear bumper on, so leave that off till the end as well. But great kit, highly recommend it. As soon as somebody releases a detailed upset, I'll be getting another one of these, and maybe you'll see a more detailed build down the line from me. But happy to get this one off the bench. It's been a busy old week. There are tons of videos on Patreon. There's 7 parts of that new Subaru series to release on Patreon as well. And the Dodge Demons over there, as well as all the other backlog of like 10 other video builds you guys are behind on over here on ISM. So there we go. Thanks for watching today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment as well if you've got the kit, if you're going to get it, if you built it, what do you think of my build. Yeah, let me know down below. I try and read all the comments and answer them as and when I can. But I could literally sit there all day answering comments, so it just turns into a nightmare. But please do leave a comment. I do read every single one. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to do so. If you want to become a patron, come to join our supporters. You get early access on the videos by like 2 months. You can get 10% off of Pro Scale Paint. There's a bench update every Sunday that's just for supporters only. There's a Facebook exclusive group where you can share your own work and purchase. I go through that on a Sunday every week. There's a Facebook Messenger chat group you can be added to. There's like 70 of us in there. You can show your work, ask questions, talk to me directly in there as well. 10% off Pro Scale Paint, I never said that one, at the applicable level as well. You get ad-free videos over there, and you keep me being able to do this. Without my patrons, I couldn't do this. So I owe you a huge debt of gratitude to all the supporters whose names are going to flash up right now at the end of this video. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that build series. I will catch you on the next one. Incidentally, the next build, because obviously you're a bit behind on there, unless you follow my social media, is the Alfa Models 812 Competizione Ferrari, which I'm going to do in a Gilo metallic 2-stage pearl yellow. Just keep an eye on my social media. If you want to see that, come and join Patreon. You can come on over and have a look. If you want to get access to all that Subaru build series, the new revisited Subaru build, become a patron there as well. If not, it's going to be about 2 months before you see that over here. But there we go. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.